meditation with me. Sorry, I have no means at the moment of reading comments, but I definitely hope to figure that out so I don't have to read my phone to see the comments. But still working out some of the details, the finer things. Just glad everything is up and running, and it feels good. I think it looks good. Happy to be here at this new studio, the YMCA virtual studio. And today, let's talk about mindfulness. As we make our way through any day, our mind is doing complex calculations, creating shortcuts, creating automaticity in our day. We put on our shoes the same way every day, maybe the left one first, maybe the right one first. We brush our teeth the same way, maybe it's the top left corner first and then across. We usually take the same route to work, or the route through the grocery store, or whatever we've done several times. We kind of have a routine. That's our brain, highly advanced, doing exactly what it's supposed to. Create shortcuts. But those shortcuts, as good as they are in saving us time, getting from A to B, getting a job done, those shortcuts become obstacles. Obstacles toward appreciating our life, being present and conscious, and become shortcuts away from our actual satisfaction, comfort, and bliss. So the art of mindfulness is bringing awareness back into our everyday life, back into the automatic, back into the spaces in our life that we've spent either thinking slightly of the future, just being slightly in the future instead of completely present, or being fixated on the past. I've talked about this before, the neuroscience space in the brain called the default mode network. Now, this is the part of your brain where you spend the majority of your day. You could refer to it as autopilot. But more or less what it's doing is predicting the future based off of past experiences. So everything we've learned, we take that into account and put it into our routines. We predict our future based off of impulses and simply habit. So the art of slowing down, of recognizing that there are infinite options from right here in this moment. We don't have to go the same route. We don't have to think the same thoughts. We don't have to feel the same way day after day. Recognizing there's a choice in any moment, that is mindfulness. Where we pay our attention largely dictates the experience that we have and the opportunities that present themselves to us. So in a practice of mindfulness, we understand the five senses are electrical impulses being fed into the brain and more or less creating a simulation of what we believe is happening around us. But when we start to pay more attention to certain details, well, that entire situation, that entire experience changes. So I want to start by talking about the senses, or practicing a bit about where we direct our attention. So first, let's just take a few breaths to recognize how many details, how many muscles, how many things are going on when we breathe. Sit up tall. Notice the weight of the world, the gravity. Where does it sit in our body? Our whole life we've been spending our days trying to find the easiest ways to stand with the least amount of effort, so we let the weight of the world kind of sit on our bones and sit on our joints. And when we sit up tall, we activate muscles, and we get to notice how much work it takes to actually sit up tall, how those muscles have been neglected and forgotten. Next, we turn to the breath. We breathe 20,000 times a day on average. Now, these unconscious breaths are usually really shallow. They normally just exist in the middle of the chest. They don't go to the depths or the expanse of what they're meant to. So let's start to take some conscious breaths deeply in through the nose to feel the full expanse of the breath. Feel the belly, the ribs, everything expanding. And then long, thorough exhales. As the lungs deflate, we still use those muscles to sit up tall. Big breaths. Just observe with your sense of feel, how does it express? What are the sensations you feel from these deep breaths? Is it a stretching? Is it a resistance? Is it a stiffness? Is it just discomfort? Is it a bunch of thoughts that come up or emotions? Do you feel strong, or do you feel weak, or do you feel capable or incapable? Notice what pops up when we observe the body. We're observing our own autopilot by simply doing different than what is automatic. A few more breaths here. Really see if you can expand the lungs even deeper without strain, but pressing in and against that routine or that gravity where it rests in your body. Keep relaxing the shoulders, soften the face, soften the heart, wherever you notice. Good. Now, let's shift our attention to our sight, our vision. But in doing so, let's close our eyes. When you close your eyes, notice, are your eyes still or are they busy? Are they still moving around? Or can they fix on one point into that space behind your eyelids? Now, your vision, what do you see behind your eyelids? Is it a color? Maybe orange or green, purple or black? Whatever you see, notice it. You can keep breathing deeply as well. It really soothes the body for a number of reasons. Now pay attention as you breathe. Are your eyes moving all around, or are they still? And what you see behind your eyelids, is it just space, blankness? Is it like a curtain? Just a two-dimensional blank space? Or is there depth? Is there a deepness that you can see into behind your eyelid, projecting all around you? There's space. As the breath continues coming and going, notice, are there any patterns or designs or movements behind the eyelids? Can you perceive any spots or streaks? Any pulsing, any rhythm, any frequency at all? Really pay attention to what you see behind your eyelids. And keep breathing. If you notice your eyes are very busy behind your eyelids, darting around or just difficult staying still, practice the stillness. Practice keeping your eyes still. Try softening the muscles behind your eyes. Try softening the muscles of your eyelids and the sockets. Soften the sinuses. And notice what you see behind the eyelids. Do your memories or your thoughts fleeting? Do they take shape behind your eyelids? Can you see or visualize whatever distractions pop up? And if you do get distracted, that's okay. A practice of mindfulness is recognizing that my mind has wandered. It's went back to its regular, scheduled program. It's went back to its autopilot of wandering more or less aimlessly. And all we have to do is bring our attention back to this moment, back to our body, back to our posture, sitting up tall. What muscles does it take? Back to our breath, expansive. What muscles does it take? Our eyes still behind our eyelids. Now let's add in another one of our senses, the sense of sound. So create breath with sound. Slight constriction in the back of the throat, like you're snoring but not quite snoring, just creating that whooshing. In and out. Listen with your ears, both ears, to the sound of your breath. And listen to the sound outside your body and inside your body as well with that breath. Listen to any stretching taking place within your body. Any little snaps, crackles, and pops. Try to create that rhythm of the breath. So not only can you hear the ocean, but you might even start seeing that rhythm behind your eyelids. If the mind wanders, that's okay. The act of noticing that your mind has wandered is mindfulness. Bring it back to the breath, to the posture, to the happenings behind the eyelids, to the rhythm of the ocean. any of this is too distracting from the moment, forget about it. But if you find yourself caught thinking of a place that's not here and now, time that is not the present, bring your awareness back to these infinite spaces in the present where you can pay attention. Sight, sound, the breath, the posture. Lastly, let's just take some gentle movements, bringing our fingertips to our knees, our thighs. And as you breathe that ocean breath, move your fingertips across your knees and thighs in a rhythm that matches the breath. Notice your fingers on your thighs. Notice your thighs on your fingers. What sensations arise? Mind wanders. That's okay. That's part of the practice. Bring your attention back to whatever rhythms, whatever senses, whatever anchor you're using to the present moment. Weight of your seat on the ground, the length of your low back as you're reaching for the sky, the softness in your shoulders as your shoulders melt away from the ears, creating more space across the neck, throat, heart, fingertips on the thighs. Visuals behind the eyelids. The sound of the breath. Notice what challenges exist, what obstacles are trying to pull you away from the here and now. Observe them. This is your regular program. Whenever there's discomfort, stillness, or perceived boredom or discomfort, your mind will try to take you elsewhere to entertain you. But this practice is about remaining present. Even if it's a little uncomfortable, even if the mind has many more programs that are more entertaining or stimulating, keep on breathing in this moment. Just a handful more breaths. Make them the biggest. Sit up the tallest. Notice discomfort. Also notice where you're comfortable in your body. Gently let your eyes open. Perceive the world around you. What looks different? What do you notice after practicing being so present for an extended period of time, as we just did? You might notice more presence. You might notice something looks different, something feels different, sounds different, because there's more energy being directed toward perceiving it instead of just blocking it out and going through the program. We're more present. If you enjoyed this practice or had some realizations or just feel any different from this practice, leave it in the comments. I'll make sure to check it out once I can. If there's any topics or ailments you'd like to address in future mindfulness talks, leave it in the comments, and I'll make sure to address it next time. Thank you so much for tuning in. I always appreciate the feedback, and thankful for the opportunity. Much thanks to the Y, the new virtual studio, as we work out all the kinks. Thank you for riding with us. Have a great start to your week. Beautiful Monday. Bring whatever sensations, whatever characteristics you'd like to bring with you. Bring them, and bring them intentionally to every scenario that you encounter today. Thanks.